Hi, my name is Alison and I work with the Trust Hospital Company Limited and I'm part of the Pink October team. Globally, October is set aside to create awareness for breast cancer. This year, our theme is Save Them All, both big and small, at all cost. About 2 million cases are recorded worldwide, of which 1% are males. In Ghana, we are recording about 400 new cases at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. The Pink October team started at the Trust Hospital about 4 years ago. Last 2 years, we screened about 1,090 people, out of which we detected 25 breast lumps and 3 confirmed cases of cancer. Last year, we screened about 1,191 cases, out of which 66 new cases of breast lumps were recorded and 4 confirmed cases who are now currently receiving treatment. The incidence of breast cancer is increasing globally and especially here in Ghana. People would want to know more about breast cancer and learn how to prevent it or the treatment options available. Now, what is breast cancer? Breast cancer is simply cancer of the breast. A lot of people are wondering what causes breast cancer. There is no cause for breast cancer, just like other cancers, but there are predisposing factors or risk factors that can make one get breast cancer. First of all, being a female puts you at risk of getting breast cancer. True, men do get breast cancer too, but the incidence is much higher in females than it is in males. About 1% of the global incidence of breast cancer is recorded in males. Another factor that could put you at risk of getting breast cancer is age. Generally, the older you are, the higher your chance of getting breast cancer. Previously, the age range was between 40 to 49 years for breast cancer to occur in women especially. But now we are recording cases as low as 12 years, 13 years, 17 years are all getting breast cancer. That is why the need for this awareness is very important. Other risk factors include being exposed to estrogen hormone for a long time. This occurs in those who experience early menarche, that is, they have their periods early in life, and those who have late menopause. Also, diets that are rich in fat can also predispose you to getting breast cancer. Alcohol intake also increases your risk of getting breast cancer. Likewise, smoking. If you've had a family history of breast cancer or a personal history of breast cancer, for example, if your parent or your grandparent has suffered breast cancer before, you can have an increased risk of getting breast cancer. Even if your father has had prostate cancer, it increases your risk of getting breast cancer. Again, if you've never had any child and you're above the age of 30, you have an increased risk of getting breast cancer. Now, obesity also increases your risk of getting breast cancer. These are the few risk factors that are associated with breast cancer. Now, what are the signs and symptoms? What do you look out for when you have breast cancer? First of all, you are looking for a lump. Please note that most of the cancerous lumps are painless. So if you don't examine your breast by yourself, you wouldn't know until it gets out of hand. So a lump is the first thing we are looking for as a sign of breast cancer. Also, dimpling on the skin like the peel of an orange, which we call cold orange, should also be noted. If you see any change in the size or the color of your breast, kindly report to the hospital. Also, look out for any nipple discharge. It could be blood or any form of discharge at all that is unusual. Kindly report to the hospital. How do we diagnose breast cancer? A simple examination of the breast can detect breast cancer. That is why there is a need for everybody to examine the breast by herself every month. Now, you can do a breast scan for those below 40 or a mammogram for those above 40. What are the treatment options? Breast cancer can be treated by surgery or chemotherapy or radiation therapy or hormone therapy or immunotherapy. Here in Ghana, the most common forms of treatment is surgery, chemotherapy, and radiotherapy. Now, I'll teach you how to do the self-breast examination at home every month. If you are not menopausal, you do it every month, a week after your period. But if you are postmenopausal, you choose a date that is convenient for you. Let's say your birth date. If you're born on 15th of May, you can choose 15th of every month to examine your breast. Or better still, maybe 1st of every month to examine your breast. That way, you are able to detect early signs and symptoms of breast cancer. Note that early detection and effective treatment saves lives. So learn how to examine your breast by yourself at home. It's very simple. If you do it often, it can take about 1 to 2 minutes to complete. We'll use the TLC method of examining the breast. The touch, the look, and then the check. Now to look, you stand in front of a mirror like it's done in the diagram. You put your hand on the waist and examine your breast. You're checking for any change in contour of the breast or symmetry of the breast. If one breast is significantly larger than the other, you need to report to the hospital. Again, we are going to look at the skin changes as I mentioned earlier as the signs and symptoms. The dimpling, the nipple discharge, you're going to look for all of that. Now what you do is you bend forward a bit and see if there are any lumps that will show whilst you've held your hand to your waist and bent forward. Now to examine your breast by touching, you put the hand of the breast you are going to examine at the back of your head and use the other hand to do the examination. You are going to use the whole of the fingers except the thumb to feel for any lumps. You are going to go in a circular manner, like the way the mosquito coil bends from the outer part towards the inside. So you start from your armpit. You do it in a circular manner without lifting your hands. You go gently round your breast till you get to the nipple. Now at the nipple, you squeeze. When you squeeze, you are looking for any of the discharges I mentioned earlier. Maybe blood, it could be pus, it could be breast milk when you are not breastfeeding. If you see any of these, kindly report to the hospital. Please note that it doesn't mean that you have breast cancer, but you need to report for us to do further investigations to figure out what is going on in the breast. Do the same thing you did for your right breast for your left breast. It can be done while sitting down, whilst lying down, or while standing. You can do this easily in the shower when you have a bit of soap in your hand. It makes it easy for your hand to slide around your breast. The same method can be done for men, as men also do get breast cancer. You see, it's quite simple. Kindly do this every month as I've initially indicated. I must add that the earlier you report to the hospital, the higher your chances of survival. If you report in the early stages, you have about 99% chance of survival. But if you report in the late stages, you have about 1% chance of survival. Let's save them all, both big or small, at all costs. And remember, early detection and effective treatment saves lives. Thank you very much.